Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
So one of us made it on the porch today,
That's
but
right.
the other did not.
I'm back in my throne room. I kind of like it here.
Yes, well, it kind of goes along with our theme for this week,
Yes.
our word of the week. And what is our word of the week, Dancing Grammy?
Well, our word of the week is stop. And it's a perfect word for me because I'm always in a hurry trying to get to the next thing. And I don't stop and reflect on what's actually happening and even go back a little bit sometimes because I've got to get on to that next thing, the next job, the next treat, the next thing. And I allow myself to stop in the evening and then I just collapse. And of course, I get my ice cream then too. But
Right, you get okay, so you got to stop now because you just went on and on.
I can go on and on.
You can go on and on. I know, and I have that too. So we're gonna stop though.
All right.
And unpack this a little bit and talk about why we don't stop and also how sometimes we are stopped. And so this is a very appropriate word for you, Mama, because you have been stopped this week. You have your issue with your leg, and I've had all kinds of people ask me, so you got to give people an update with what's happening with Dancing Grammy. You had a first lesson in our new studio in the garage, and then ended up at the doctor.
I know.
Tell us what you were stopped physically.
Well, I was actually in pain when I was tap dancing, but I didn't let that stop me. But a couple days later, the pain increased. And I said, this is crazy. I got to tap dance. So I did get to the doctor. He worked me in and he gave me a shot, cortisone. He said, we have two options here. We can try the shot, see if it takes away the pain and strengthens that leg, because that leg was not dependable. It would give out on me, and I was just fortunate I didn't go down. But I had the shot, and like everything else I do, I expected sudden health, sudden recovery. And
you wanted it to be back to normal.
Oh, yes.
Give me the shot and we're good.
By Friday, it was really painful, kept getting worse. I didn't want to overdose on Tylenol.
Don't overdose, Mama.
No. But anyway, I finally called the doctor's office yesterday because I just thought, this isn't getting better, it's getting worse. And his assistant told me that it takes about a week. Well, you know me, I'm in a hurry. And no one told me it took a week. So now, even though it hurts somewhat, I'm looking forward to the next week when it should be better. I am an optimist. I'm not.
You are definitely an optimist.
Nothing negative, as Tom says.
That's right. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. So you've been forced to stop physically.
I was.
You got a shot, and now you're trying to stop to recover, and that's the thing. Sometimes God stops us, and I feel like I'm like you. I'm just like you, Mom. I go, but sometimes I am stopped. Like God stops me. I get sick. When I stop is when I get sick.
Yes,
I physically can't go on, and I have learned that if we don't stop, that we will be stopped sometimes, and to take these times as an opportunity to rest and refuel. We talked about rest back in August. And how we all need to rest, and how we're Marthas, right? We're go.
I'll rest when I finish the next job. That's my motto. And it's in the back of my mind to rest. But that's after I finish this and this and this and this. Right. And that's what happens.
I don't think rest worked for you when we talked about it in August. So stop is a stronger word. You need stop. And sometimes I do. And so you've been stopped physically with your leg. I've been stopped too. I had a very interesting thing with COVID happen. I had a friend fly in. I haven't seen her since last fall, from California, a very dear friend of mine. We met in the backyard.
Yes.
Social distance. I had gloves, mask on, the whole thing, and
Yes.
she ended up getting COVID. So I
Wow.
am self quarantining. I'm feeling okay. I was not feeling well this weekend. And of
Yes. I
course,
was
the minute
worried
you
about
start,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the minute you start feeling bad during this season, you're like, I got COVID. You think you've got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
She was on an airplane, and
right,
I
exactly.
I didn't want to worry you either, but I was worried, Julie. And
So
I
I am stopping this week, and I'm
yeah,
actually enjoying my time of stopping.
wonder.
And I also have another friend who's in California. I don't know what's going on in California, but my friend Sandy is waiting for her test. She's had shortness of breath, so she's been
Oh,
stopped. And
oh,
it's been interesting talking to her about she
yeah.
hasn't been able to leave her house.
Oh,
Um,
gosh.
and then Carolyn is in Wales, my
Yeah.
daughter, and she's
Yeah.
starting her master's program. So, because of coming from the US, she's had to be quarantined for 2 weeks.
I
And
know.
in Wales, they will not let her leave her apartment. She cannot even walk outside.
She's in prison, you
She's
might
like,
say.
yeah, so she's
Yeah.
very
What a
much
welcome. Oh,
stopped.
and she
So,
can't go to class or anything
she started class online yesterday. So,
online.
but
Okay.
it's just crazy this idea of how the virus has stopped many
Yes,
people.
yes, it
And
was
I think these times of stopping can be really be opportunities. This is the way I try to look at everything as an opportunity, right?
positive,
Um,
Julie.
right.
Nothing negative.
An
Yeah,
opportunity for growth and a
yeah,
time of reflection.
exactly.
Because I think in our busyness, we often are just go, 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 and we're reacting and we're going and
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
stopping to really prayerfully consider what we should be doing next or what we,
yeah,
and we're just
yeah,
on the go to, like you said, the next thing. You want to
yeah.
get to the next thing. So,
Got my list to check off, and I know you have one too,
oh,
Julie.
I got lists. I got them on my
Yeah,
phone. I have
I
lists
know, I know.
everywhere.
But
So,
it is a good time for us to stop. I
right,
can't really practice my steps that I learned. I mean, all I can do really is sit at my computer, which I love to do, and
right,
it saved me from the pandemic. Right, trying to write this book and get on the computer every day has given me a reason to go on.
right.
But I want to do it now,
But
and
but
I
that's a really good point, Mom. So this time of stopping has actually opened up space for you to
yeah,
write.
yes,
Because it's kind of shut down everything else. It shut down your shows. It shut down a
yes,
lot of things. So
everything. Yeah,
it's actually been good, and I think that's a good way to look at stopping.
yes,
Stopping can actually birth new opportunities, and
yeah,
so I think that's something we want our viewers to think about,
yes,
in these times of quarantine, if they're having to quarantine, or
exactly.
maybe doing a self stop yourself
Yes,
and take that time to reflect, and to
even
really
make some notes. Maybe there's some things you want to do, like I did. I wanted to write. Maybe there's some activities that you can put down on paper and try them uh, after the pandemic ends, or now, even if it's possible.
right.
There's so much out there for us to do. And I haven't got 50 years to do it in. So that's one excuse for me being in a hurry, Julie.
Okay,
I mean,
so that's one of your reasons for not stopping is
it's a good
you got
reason.
limited time.
I've got other books in me before I'm 100.
Okay.
Uh, I've already told people there'll be some coming out. I haven't finished the first one.
You no, we're on chapter 5. The 5th chapter just went to the editor.
I
So,
know,
yeah,
I know.
we may need to reset that expectation about all these books, Mom, one book at a time. And so, but you
Uh,
bring up a really good point. What prevents us from stopping? And I think some of it is expectation.
yeah,
And we live in a very achievement driven world. So we got to
yes,
do this and do that. I got to write the first book. And now you're already
yeah,
thinking about the second and third book instead of staying focused on what am I doing with this first book. Um,
exactly.
what other
Sometimes I want to keep busy so I don't go back to the past. If
Mhm.
I have idle time, my mind will wander back to of older other days when maybe I wasn't so focused on Jesus and I lived more of a materialistic life. And Julie, I don't want to go back there. So I
Right.
tried quickly to push it away and keep going so I won't have time to think about it. And that's self-defeating, really. I don't I know I don't have to go back there, but it's kind of all of us. Our mind does drift to other times. And
Exactly. And it depends on where your mind lands. And I think that you tend to go back and review your mistakes and your
yeah,
disappointments and what I could have done
yeah,
better.
yeah,
And so you don't want to go back there. You just want to
no,
move along. But
no,
sometimes it's healthy to go back because I think there are lessons to be learned. And sometimes we just need to get it out because if we just stuff it down and we kind of push through and move forward, it's still there.
yeah,
And we actually talked about this in church this week and things like anger and disappointment, and somebody offending you. If we don't get it out, what happens over time is we can grow bitter. Uh,
yeah,
and we want to grow better. We don't want to grow bitter. And,
that's right.
and we need to sometimes go back there and get it out. And so we can be
Yeah.
free to move forward. And I
Well,
think you're absolutely
fortunately,
right.
I haven't become bitter. I
No, you have
blame
not.
myself for everything that's happened. I never seem to find fault in the other people involved. But I'm not bitter about anything. Look at what I have today, Julie. After all these mistakes and everything, God has blessed me
Mm,
incredibly. Uh, I can't say enough about my life being so good and special. And that's what keeps me going all the time. I
yes.
feel a responsibility to actually reach out and help others achieve this special joy I feel.
I love that, Mom. That's just you, and you're not a bitter person. I think what
No,
you carry is more guilt and shame. You do it
yeah,
inwardly. You don't it doesn't come out to other
oh,
people. A
no,
lot of people have the bitterness that is coming out. You have it in you, and then you make yourself feel bad.
yeah,
And that's where times of stopping can be good to help you, even though it's hard to go there sometimes. It's just like we talked about with loss.
yeah,
And sometimes people just move along, and I share the story about that time at the hospital when I was a chaplain, how I felt the pain, and I
yeah,
had never stopped to actually feel the pain of that loss of my happily ever after, of my
yeah,
marriage, of my
yeah,
family unit, and it just came gushing out, and it needed to happen.
yeah,
And I'm really grateful that I stopped and that
yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Um, but I don't want to go back and dwell on it. It's like I've got it
well,
out. Now I can move along.
yeah,
But sometimes times of stopping can be healthy because it gives us space to either
yeah,
create something new, whether it's a new
yeah,
hobby or a new book,
yeah,
uh, or it creates space for us to work some of this out with the Lord and to
yeah.
grow in our relationship here.
Oh, I
And
talk
just
to
having
him all the time about it,
Mhm.
and he's helping me. I know that,
Yeah.
Julie. It's just that it doesn't happen overnight. And
It's
you
a
know,
process. We're in process
yeah,
making
we
progress.
we are.
Always. We'll never stop growing either. I mean, it's just that's how life is, and I think that's very healthy. So,
And I think sharing what we're going through hopefully helps others
yeah,
because we're not alone in this. We're
absolutely.
not the only ones who feel guilt and regrets and things from the past. But if we show others how we're coping with it and moving on to a rich and wonderful life, uh, it's going to help, Julie. A little
Absolutely.
bit.
It
A
will
little
plant
bit.
seeds, hopefully.
Yeah,
And so that's what we hope
yeah,
that this week that if you are either stopped
yes,
because of some sort of circumstance, whether it's a health issue like mom's leg or a
yeah,
quarantine or maybe a loss of a job or whatever is causing you to stop, that you look
yeah,
at this time as really an opportunity for growth and to work through maybe some issues, to take more time with the Lord, or maybe just
yeah,
intentionally stop and say, hey, I'm
Yeah,
exhausted. I gotta just
yeah,
take a time out, and I'm in my robe here. I'm taking a stop today. I
good.
mean, I'm with you, and I've got things going on, but I'm not, gonna push myself too hard because
No,
I'm still not feeling 100%, and that's why we're not together
no.
today. Plus, I needed to self
And
quarantine.
you were helping me this morning while I was in the throne room. Yeah,
Well, you were all cozied in,
yeah, I'm all
so
cozy, but I'm getting pretty warm in this room.
yeah.
So
Okay. Does
I
that
think
mean
we're
we're
gonna
ending?
end
Oh, there she
our
goes.
our
When
little
the hand starts waving,
discussion soon.
see, you are
And
stopping. See, you're going stop, and then you're
I
going
love to
goodbye.
see
It's
you,
a stop
and
and a
I know
goodbye.
other people are seeing us. It's a happy time, Julie.
Mhm.
All these porch casts make me happy. I don't know what I'm going to say next, but fortunately, it's nothing too bad.
We
And
never know what's coming
no,
out on the porch. We
we
just pick
never
a topic
know.
and we go live, and here we
Uh-huh.
are.
But this
So,
is a special day,
yeah.
and every day's special. We're going to make it that. And we'll just say goodbye and good day and
Good
just keep
day and
time.
goodbye, and we hope you take time to
Yes,
stop
yes.
this week and
I'm
just
gonna try and do it. I
okay, I'm
really
gonna
am.
hold you to it and have somebody hold you accountable too. So, I'm gonna
Oh
hold you to
dear.
it, mama. We
Oh
gotta get
dear.
that leg healthy.
Well,
You gotta so we can
we
get you
do.
dancing. So stay
I know.
tuned. Hopefully Dancing Grammy will be back on the porch. She
Oh
started
yeah.
practicing last week, so
Yeah.
some good stuff is coming.
I'm
So,
coming.
all right.
Just
We
gotta stop a while. Love
we love you, and we'll see you
you.
next week.
Bye bye, Julie.
Bye-bye.